Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV and your Uncensored Match Build Up ahead of Liverpool taking on PSV tomorrow night at time of recording in the Philips Stadium over in Eindhoven. I'm Dan Clubb, I'm joined by Luke and Alex for this one. Arguably the tallest panel ever assembled on Redmen TV, I would say. I think it's up there, yeah, because you must be 6'4".
I'm 6'3", and I'll go with 6'3.5".
Yeah, Luke?
Yeah.
I think I'm about 6'1". I'm not that tall.
We're all 6 foot
All
plus.
6 foot. I'll tell you what, we'd do well at defending corners, wouldn't we?
Sam Allardyce would adore us. In fact, Mikel Arteta would adore us at this point.
Big Sam, all of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Tony Pulis.
Yeah, exactly. First and foremost, gents, how are we, Luke? Okay.
Yeah, good. Bit of FOMO, wish it was going now, but that's how it is, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah.
Alex?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Again, a bit of FOMO. I was at the Girona game. Fancied this one, but I've got a big trip next week, so my missus would kill me if I was having a drink in Eindhoven right now. But it's what it is. We can watch it, can't we? So.
Quick stop off in Amsterdam on the way as well.
Yeah, maybe not.
Old man Dego's pleased to see you anyway. Don't know if you can see that.
Who is?
The best guest we could have on.
Oh, that's nice. Old man who?
Dego, his name is.
Nice one, Dego. Top dog.
I mean, Luke sat right there, but you know.
That's all right. I'm not on every week, it's fine.
It's all good. Sound. I've got the best legs on YouTube. Steve Moore, thank you very much. Very weird start to the show.
I mean, do you know what? Scousers and
legs
shorts in January is a combination that I didn't know until I actually started living in Liverpool.
Oh, it's a thing, like.
But it's a thing, isn't it?
It's a thing.
It's
Old man there goes back to apologise, Luke. Anyway, we will get into why we're actually sat around here. Let's do some build up to it, shall we? Let's start with PSV, as we so often do on this show. Start with the opposition. Luke, 19th currently in the Champions League standings. There's an opportunity, a potential. We face them again, depending on what happens tomorrow night and what's going to be a mad night of footy. They're 4 points clear, top of the Eredivisie right now. They have played a game more than Ajax. So, yeah, in terms of them and in terms of what they might offer, they're a decent side, I think.
Yeah, I've been just doing a brief little bit of research about them, and Eredivisie, the miles clear of everyone else in terms of goals scored. I think they've got 4 or 5 players sort of in the top 20 for goals scored. I think 2 of them are equaling 20. I think it's De Jong and the other lad. I think he's the left winger. Yeah, Pepe. Yeah. So they're equaling 20 just in league goals. But it hasn't exactly translated over to the Champions League. They're undefeated at home, but we're going to be their biggest side, sort of. And they've had a tough game against Shakhtar back there. So where they were 2-0 down, come back 3-2, Shakhtar went down to 10. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be interesting. We've got Cody, who's going to be, the main story is going to be about him, isn't it? Going back. So that's going to be a good watch. In terms of what's probably going to go well for us is they can go up, but with what's going on in terms of how many games they're playing, they've got the littlest chance of hope of the top 8 if they beat us. But they can't really go down. The circumstances of them where they don't qualify is Man City win 1-0 and we beat them 9-0 and then they don't go through. It's not going to happen. So they're looking pretty safe and hopefully on the beach, I would hope. That'll do us a favour.
Yeah, if there is a beach in Eindhoven, mate. Yeah. No, you are right there. You mentioned really the goals, and that's the thing that stood out to me. I had a quick look earlier on at their recent results, and it's eye-opening, really. It's staggering, actually, Alex, to be honest with you. They won 3-2 at the weekend just gone. 3-2 win last week in the Champions League. They recently got beat 3-1. There's a 5-4 in there. There's a 2-2 in there. They beat Feyenoord a few weeks back now, 3-0. I think we were looking at, there's an 8-0 just before that too. So Luke touched upon it, like goals and more goals really. Yeah.
And they conceded 3 to PEC's Wall, which is Arne Slot's hometown team.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. They score goals. I mean, Luke De Jong, he must be at least 35 now. I thought he was long gone, to be fair, but he's still out here scoring goals. They've got a couple of what I would call Premier League rejects, a little bit, with all due respect, in that squad. And as much as our mentality going into this is, you know, we can rest the kids, we can play a bit weak, we can play the kids, we can, you know, go a bit easy on them. They're the opposite, because they're not coming into this game with that mentality. They have to win this game. They can still qualify if they draw, right?
Yeah, even if they get beat, they're probably going to go through.
Exactly.
But results have to go against them, sort of thing.
You have to go against them massively to not qualify.
And that's why I think this format of the Champions League hasn't really been appreciated up until tomorrow night when these games kick off at the same time. It's going to feel like the multi-screen are going to feel like, right, let's go here, who scored, and that table is just going to change how many times across the 2 hours. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a good game. I don't think Arne Slot actually recognises the word weak and change. I think the fans, 95% of them would want Adans to start. We'd want Chiesa, we'd want Keller, even Jaros, Kwanzaa. But I don't think he does that, or he acknowledges that we have weaker players. He's going to go pretty much, I'd say, 80 to 90% full strength. And I don't blame him because, we want to get 8 out of 8.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the 100% record is definitely on his mind. I actually think getting one over PSV and Peter Bosch, one of his sort of old enemies from the Eredivisie, might be in his thinking
but
as
we
well
didn't
for
think
this.
of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And also rhythm, momentum, all that sort of stuff. But we'll touch on Liverpool in the second segment of the show. Before we do, last bit on PSV, Luke, I'll come back to you on it, mate. In terms of their sort of standout players, we mentioned Ricardo Pepe. I think Johan Bakayoko is one. A lot of Liverpool fans will have an eye on at least.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to pick him up. I'm obviously doing a bit of research this morning and last night. He looks great, doesn't he, on the ball? He looks brilliant. He was touted last season with a lot of sort of moves to big European sides. It didn't quite work out for him, but he just looks so quick and his feet, just everything about him. You're thinking he's a top-class winger. It's not necessarily translated to too many goals for him this season. He's very much a winger. But he'd be good for us, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I know he's left-footed, plays on the right as well. So people thinking Salah, understudy, successor, whatever. Yeah, absolutely. And Ivan Perisic is one of the Premier League guys you mentioned, but he's actually ineligible for the Champions League. He's not registered for this competition. I don't know whether it's because when they signed him or whether he was cupped. I don't know, but he can't.
Maybe it's the deadline.
Did he not go back to Split or something?
He did. Then he arrived at PSV after that.
What was the point in that move? So he did the big homecoming move. And now he can't play. That's weird. He's about 36 as well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I like to mention Luke de Jong as well. Well into his 30s. Was he at Newcastle for a bit? Luke de Jong,
for a little bit.
Barcelona as well.
But absolutely. Yeah.
I was laughing stock there for a little bit. Yeah.
They're a decent side. They've got some good players in amongst it as well. But I think. Liverpool should have too much for them on the night, depending on what the starting 11 is, which we will discuss, and lots of other stuff after this trivia question. Now, this is time for the trivia question, okay? Double agents is my go-to trivia question, by which I mean players that play for both football clubs. So there's 7 of them in total. Don't say anything just yet, guys. You at home watching or at work, if you're watching, start throwing them in the comments in the chat now. 7 players play for PSV and Liverpool. One of them's an absolute tap-in.
Yeah.
But
we've all got that one.
Yeah, start to think about them. Start to throw them in the chat, and then when we're back in literally like a minute, we'll go through them. See them. Hello over there, just wanted to tell you what you could win if you were in our Club Legend prize draw for January. This is a biggie. We're starting the new year off with a bang. It's this, a signed Liverpool shirt signed by Ian Callaghan, proper Liverpool royalty, the record appearance maker for the Reds. 857 appearances he made. Not all in this shirt, you'll be glad to know, but if you want to get yourself a chance of winning this, head to redmenplus.com, sign up as a club legend, or upgrade your existing subscription, and you might just be the lucky winner. Hello everyone, welcome back to Redmen TV. Before I get the answer to the trivia question going, you've been asked a question, Alex. One player the Reds should sign this January transfer window.
Ozan Kabak? No. With 2 days to go, you're putting me on the spot here. Yeah. It would have to be Kirkes for me. Or Hato. Okay. I like the look of him, a bit of versatility.
He's been at Anfield recently.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all was in. I'd probably go Hato as well, to be honest.
There you go, Dutch as well. It's
quite
all Dutch.
easy. Yeah. We like the Dutch guys.
We've had some answers in the chat. I think the one everyone got immediately was Cody Gakpo.
Of course,
obviously. Any more from you two?
I'm going to go with Jan Kronkamp.
Correct.
Yes, get in there.
Ryan Babel, but I'm not sure. I don't think that's right. He's Ajax, isn't he?
Yeah,
Counts Feyenoord. So.
Any more?
Not Dorkoit. Not him.
No, Feyenoord.
Feyenoord. Oh.
I put one on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if anybody else has got any. Yeah, we got another one from Old Man Dego's back.
Zenden's played
for
and Old Man Dego also with a shout I didn't think anybody would be getting, but fair play. Eric Meyer. No, too niche. Okay.
Number 13 he was for us, wasn't he?
There's a couple more. Who haven't we got? So we've got Gini Wijnaldum. Give you a clue. Okay. One of them still very much playing. I'd have to double check where he's gone now, but he left us to go to Wolves.
What?
Kylian Keanu. I wouldn't say
Keanu,
Is he there now?
He was at Wolves. I don't know where he's gone to now. He came to us from them, PSV, and now he moved on since.
Player, man.
Last one, I think. So we've got Gino Wijnaldum, Cody Gakpo, Jan Kromkamp, Bolo Zenden, Eric Meyer, Kian Hoover, and there's one more. And the clue I'll give you for this one, he plays in France now. Thank you very much. I didn't think he was at Wolves anymore. The last one, which nobody said in the chat, and you two guys haven't come up with either, also played for Everton.
Van der Meyde?
No.
What am I on about? He never played for us.
Never played for us.
He played for Everton.
Everton,
And
Liverpool,
he
PSV.
played for us.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. I'll try and find if you've got any more.
Xavier.
There you go,
there
ladies
you
and
go.
gentlemen. There you go.
That's it.
Didn't even need to get his other clubs
Mad
up.
geezer, him, man.
Nicely,
I
he was.
I thought we were having trick questions here.
No. That is all 7 according to FBref.
I'll take that.
I would have got a few of them. I don't think I've got Abel Xavier, to be honest with you. That's a niche.
I think the giveaway was he's played for both, and there's genuinely not many that have.
Nicky Barmby and like a couple of
Barmby,
few others. Peter
Gary
Bears, obviously
Ablett.
from years ago, yeah.
That's about
Wonderful. Regan, I don't know if you said this post us telling you what it was, but if not, fair play.
We got Regan, man.
Congratulations. Let's move on to some Liverpool stuff then, shall we? Obviously, we're doing this show in advance of the press conference, which is a little bit later on today. So injury update-wise, we're not fully aware of the situation surrounding one player in particular. Alex, I'll come to you on it, mate. No Joe Gomez, we know that for certain, more or less. Likewise, Diogo Jota. Curtis Jones, there's still that question mark over. Let's do the Jones thing. If he is fit and available, would you be rushing him back for this one?
Good question. I don't think he. I mean, I was at the game that he got injured. It looked like a groin injury, and then he carried on playing a bit, and then he went off. Was it half time?
Half time, yeah, never came back out.
Would I rush him back for this game? Probably not. I mean, my lineup prediction that I did on the COP TV yesterday had Endo at centre back, and it had Harvey, Maka, and Dom in the midfield, I think. So there's players that you can rest, but in terms of, I don't think he will be available for this one. So I'd almost rule him out. The game at the weekend is a game that maybe you can bring him on. You wouldn't start him though, coming back from injury. I think at this moment in time, if I am going to play a player who doesn't start every week in the midfield, it would be Harvey Elliott and not Curtis. I think Curtis, as much as I love him, I wouldn't say he's had his chance, but I think he had a really hot streak from maybe October through to Christmas, and it's just dipped off a little bit. So if there's anyone I'd be playing in that position tomorrow who actually deserves it based on their recent contributions off the bench from start, then it would be Harvey.
Yeah, interesting that. Before we dive into sort of the actual team selection, if you like, Luke, I'll come to you in a minute. I put here it's a dead rubber for Liverpool. It is and it isn't. I think for a lot of fans, Alex touched upon earlier, it kind of is, because there's an opportunity at least to rest and rotate and to be a bit, free and easy with your team selection, if you like. And obviously we've got Bournemouth for the weekend who are flying. Let's have it right. Like, they're absolutely flying at Bournemouth as well, down the Vitality. So yeah, there's a question mark around how strong we can go. There's a 100% record thing to maintain. There's a top spot into consideration. That doesn't mean a lot, but still, what's your sort of general feeling heading into this one about how strong we should go?
So, looking at it, there's no difference between first and second. It's actually just the total look of the draw. So, if I was the gaffer, I'd be resting, rotating. I'd be giving a lot of lads the rest. Gravenberch is nowhere near the pitch. You know what I mean? He's the first one. Probably have Van Dijk nowhere near it as well. But all these lads are going to want to play.
And they're Dutch as well. They
yeah,
want to play.
Exactly. So they're all going to want to play. So I think Slot does have the 100% record of his mind. I think we're probably going to see sort of like maybe 70% starting 11, something like that. A few rotations in. I can see Harvey playing as well, like you said, AJ. I can see Harvey defo starting.
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult. I don't think anyone's going to be able to get the team selection right. If you were to put it on paper, Mo Salah's going to want to play, and this is one where I wouldn't even flew him over, because there's no difference. It's total look at the draw. If you finish first or second, though, either who you play. So I don't know. It's one of them, isn't it? Only Slot, I think, will go about 70% 11. I think we'll see a lot of the big guns. All the Dutch lads will probably get minutes at least. Is that in our best interest at Bournemouth at the weekend? We haven't made it too easy for ourselves there in the past. We've had some tough games there, so just see what happens.
Well, you said before, Arne Slot has been reluctant, is a word I might use, to rotate heavily. Certainly, when it comes to Premier League, without a shadow of a doubt, Champions League likewise, a little bit more in the Carabao Cup. Obviously, quite wholesale when it was Accrington in the FA Cup. We'll wait and see what happens with Plymouth, of course. But how much sort of stock and credence do you think he's putting into the 100% record, the top spot, and also, Is it fair to say if this wasn't back in Holland against old rivals PSV, against Peter Bosch, a manager who's come up against a few times, if this was, let's flip reverse, it was Lille and everything was done and dusted, maybe it would be a bit weaker, which sounds silly but possibly true?
100%, I totally agree with you. I think for us as fans, after we beat Lille, and let's not forget they hadn't lost since September, we're actually playing almost the Lille equivalent of Holland at the minute. So I think fans would say, listen, you can play the kids. My title yesterday was literally play the kids. So I know what I would have done. But I don't think fans are actually understanding the rivalry that he had and probably still has. I mean, he's probably going to get a bit of stick off their fans tomorrow night as well, isn't he? If I was them, I would. So, we didn't really take that into consideration, what it means for him, the history that he's got with them. And then Cody Gakpo is probably going to be the man to maybe chuck a few secrets around the changing room, say what they're good at, say what they're not so good at. That's just how it goes. So he's definitely going to get a star role. And I think, do you know what? I actually don't mind that he takes almost every game really seriously. I'm not saying for a second that Klopp didn't. I knew that he still played stronger teams and was forced to play weaker teams through injury only. He would have played stronger teams against Chelsea in the final last year if he had the players, but we didn't. So I believe that he will go fairly strong. But again, as a fan, you want to see your best players on the pitch. I know we all give it the big one and say let's rest, but when that whistle goes and the atmosphere is booming, do you really want to have rested players then? I think when the atmosphere picks up, you're in for a game and you go your strongest. But I quite like it that Arnie doesn't really believe in a weaker team, because I don't think he would even call some of his players weaker players.
He would not have that for a single second. He just utilises the whole squad as he sees fit ultimately. And listen, the way the lads who have been on the periphery, on the fringes, have stepped up, particularly in the League Cup and more recently in Premier League games as well, he'd be right to sort of just have them as members of his first team, and come what may. I'll come back to you, Luke, momentarily before we dive into some of the names and what might happen in terms of that team selection. We've sort of spoke about the Champions League and what that looks like, and 100% record and the PSV factor in all of this. How big of a factor do you think momentum and rhythm is? Because we know historically Liverpool, certainly under Jurgen Klopp, were better for games ultimately, and a big chunk of rest, whether it be 4, 5, 6 days, whatever, actually doesn't serve as well. Do you think there's an element of that in his thought process here, in terms of like bouncing what we've just done in terms of the 2 wins, bouncing off this one with another win, hopefully, with the same players going again and going again? That might actually stand us in better stead. Yeah,
it probably will, to be fair. There's an element of using the whole squad though as well, just as a sort of different point of that, is that if you can have a bit more of an 18 player momentum, then when you have someone gets injured or someone pulls out, you've sort of putting someone in like for like, just as hungry. I think there's also, just to touch on, we had a pointless injury, didn't we, a couple of years ago at AC Milan? Didn't we, away?
Was it
am I talking about the wrong game?
Midtjylland with Jota.
Oh yeah, Midtjylland Jota, the COVID year.
Yeah. But you're right.
There's an element of someone could get a knock who doesn't need to play, but also the country to that point is, under Klopp, we played a lot harder, we ran a lot more, we did a lot more. These lads probably aren't feeling it as much under Slot, just because we're a little bit more organised, we're not covering as many miles. So, like I said before, it's hard. It's really hard.
It's really tricky, and thankfully for us, we're the 3 lads who are about to try and pick it. But it is hard. There's so much to consider in this one. That really, I like seeing rotated sides, because I like a lot of the fringe players. I like a lot of the academy players as well. But at the same time, as you said there, Alex, like if it is the strongest 11, you go, okay, Sam, I get to watch Liverpool's strongest 11 again. I get to watch Ryan Gravenberch strut his stuff again. That's fine. You know what I mean? Because the fella's an absolute.
I think in terms of carrying momentum in the league, obviously you do want to win here tomorrow, because we've seen what happens when you draw against United, then you lose at Tottenham, and then you need an Accrington to pick you back up. So you do want to win. Yeah. But in terms of carrying momentum through the tournament, it just so doesn't matter. We're not playing for ages, and like whoever we're going to play is going to play 2 extra games before us. So whoever we're going to play is going to have more momentum than us anyway.
Champions League momentum does not exist post this match. Absolutely, But I'm thinking more for Saturday and short.
Just carrying games in
absolutely. Okay, let's do it, and do throw more team selection solutions in the chat whilst we go along, because I do want to keep bringing them up as we go, because it might aid our thinking and our thought process a little bit. But let's begin. Alex, you said you picked a team yesterday, so let's do the defence, shall we? No, let's do the goalie first, because that's silly. Because I actually think there's a conversation around this. Like normally you'd just go, well, obviously it's Alisson. I don't know. Like somebody mentioned Jaros before. Like, what do we do here?
I think the middle ground is Kelleher, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's people that will say Jaros, people say Ali. And listen, there actually is still an argument to play Ali, just to carry on that momentum. He'd be kicking himself that we conceded so late against Ipswich the other day. And going into that Bournemouth game, they're on fire. So there is a risk if you don't play Ali tonight. He's got to really get back up to speed of things at the Vitality on Saturday. But that's been done for him before. I don't think he'll see that as a massive issue. But I'd go Kelleher. I'd go Quiveen in goal. Yeah.
Luke?
I'd agree. I'd go Kelleher as well in goal. When Arnie slots us those up to him, so
oh yeah, listen,
he's going to put Alisson in goal. He just is.
Totally right.
Oh, yeah, there's a massive caveat. A massive caveat to all of this. Like,
are you saying Kelleher then as well?
Yeah,
I
think I am. Yeah.
He hasn't played for.
Been a little while, hasn't it?
It's a shame because he was really good as well.
Got the FA Cup coming up, obviously, potentially the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg as well might be for him. That's possibly.
True. I think everyone was a little bit surprised he didn't play the first leg.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm saying possibly around that one, like, because there's potentially 2 more games for him there. Will this sort of get him back up to speed ahead of them? Potentially.
Didn't he play more games than Alisson last season?
I'm not sure.
Alisson, he'd be pulling that stat out.
I'm pretty sure he played 1 or 2 games more than Ali last year, and there was a couple of mistakes, but nothing to write home about. Like he is Mr. Dependable still.
His form early on this season when we needed him was exceptional, barring probably Newcastle away. I think he didn't have the greatest of nights, and that obviously sort of coincided with Alisson getting back to fitness, so it happened.
Whose fault was that goal though? Was it Gomez or Kelleher?
I don't think Kelleher should let that go personally. But anyway,
give him the shout though.
Yeah, possibly.
Communicate a bit better, but you're right.
Yeah, neither of them covered themselves in goal. Let's put it that way. Sounds. So we've gone Kiev in goal. Let's do the back 4 then. Luke, I'll come to you on it first. Let's do the full backs to give you them too. What we say?
If he's going to go goal in the game, I'll probably play Trent Alexander-Arnold. If I'm thinking 70% 11, I think Bradley comes on off the hour mark just because he gives that creativity. We could have a kill after an hour if it's 2-0 up. I think Van Dijk will play as well just because we're in Holland, he's going to play, he's going to want to play. Kwanzaa's fit, isn't he? So maybe Kwanzaa comes in, and then possibly Andy Robertson at left backs. I think Tsimikas may be more likely to play against Bournemouth for the weekend, but either or, whoever starts at left back won't play on Saturday. It'll be
interesting,
rotated.
I'd actually start Tsimikas and keep Robbo for Saturday. I thought he was really great against Ipswich at the weekend. I like Trent starting. He has started most Champions League games apart from obviously the Madrid one, which we all remember what Conor Bradley did in that game. But I like that idea of starting Trent, and then if the game is going according to plan, bring on Bradley a bit of fresh legs, because again he's probably gonna not play on Saturday, but he'll play against Plymouth.
And I think we've seen that a lot. I think he's managed Trent's minutes really well. So
I think he's managed everyone's minutes really well. There's an argument to say he could have played Harvey a little bit more and a couple other players, but the timing of the subs this season from Arne Slot has been sensational. There's a few examples we can give, but I really like how he's almost kept everyone happy. No one's really thrown the toys out the pram. Nope. He's got them all on side. We're super tight at the minute, and everyone is going to have some role to play across the season, and it's just about managing that time. So I'd agree. Endo at centre back.
I like Endo at centre back. I'm big for it, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
But that's in place of Virgil, I guess.
It will be. And would you go Virgil? I mean, sorry, would
Konate
you go Endo?
Cannot. I don't even want him to travel.
But would you go Endo Kwanzaa? You wouldn't, would you? It's probably a little bit too
It was
weak.
them two for Accrington, wasn't it? Kwanzaa and
but these have scored 61 league goals. They're 20 clear of Ajax.
No, but I hear that. But Ajax aren't that great. Let's have it right. And also at the same time, Endo and Kwanzaa against Luke de Jong. I think
you're not having Luke de Jong at all.
Yeah, you don't have him, right? No, because I've seen him with my own eyes. He's past it.
Luke de Jong hat-trick tomorrow night now.
My face all over the internet.
It'd probably be Pepe.
Yeah, why not?
Endo, Kwanzaa.
Why not?
Yeah.
If we need him, we can bring him on, but...
You can be in the Endo Kwanzaa camp.
I'm in the Endo Kwanzaa camp.
That's fine. For what it's worth, I was in the Conor Bradley camp at right back. I must say that, like I really was. And I'm probably just siding with you on the left back in terms of Tsimikas, I think, and saving Robertson for the weekend. But yeah, not easy. I think Van Dijk does play. I think Van Dijk plays alongside.
He will play. But for me personally, I just love Endo. I think he's one of my favourite Liverpool
No, yeah, he
players.
is. By the way,
want to see him
he's
more.
playing in my team,
well,
just
he's
not a centre half.
Yeah, so
He's played over 100 games in that position.
he's a
But
player.
if we're doing the midfield next, then yeah, I agree. Go on.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do the midfield. Now, we just done Van Dijk, so I'll park that momentarily. But there are 3 people, really, across this team. Van Dijk, Gravenberch and Salah. You could honestly probably in this conversation for a different reason. But in terms of minutes amassed, those 3 are way ahead of everybody else, basically. So they are the 3 you'd look at and go, I could probably do it resting you because you're so pivotal. And Gravenberch is one of them, Luke. Listen, the Dutch thing, yes. How brilliant he is, yes. But if you can wrap him up in cotton wool, and we have actually seen Slot do this in the Carabao Cup. Like, he hasn't travelled to a couple of Carabao Cup games. Like, he went out with his missus for a dinner for one of them. Like, he was watching it on his phone, which is boss, by the way. But still, he wasn't there. So Slot is aware of the need to protect Gravenberch. So is that something he might do tomorrow?
yeah, I'd start Endo, but I do think Gravenberch gets minutes. I do think he probably plays at least 20, something like that. Just the whole Dutch thing that we're on about. They're all going to want to play. But yeah, I'd start Endo, give him a good rest. And Endo's a good player. He did an absolute job for us last season. You know what I mean?
Absolutely adore him.
It's not like we're taking him out and putting some 18-year-old in who's never played. So.
Okay. Alex?
Is this we're doing the 3 in midfield?
Let's do the DM first.
Oh yeah, it's Endo all day long.
Okay.
It's Endo. Yeah, Gravenberch, have him on the bench. I think Endo is more than capable of doing a 90 minutes, but again, managing the minutes, we could almost switch that up on Saturday. Gravenberch plays 70 and then Endo comes on for 20 at the end. So yeah, definitely Watura.
I think there's something in keeping the likes of Gravenberch ticking over with 20 minutes. I really do. I quite like that solution there. Let's move forwards then. Alex, I'll come back to you in a minute. Yeah. I think the midfield 3 recently has been absolutely exceptional. So Bosley, Gravenberch, McAllister. So much so that I don't really want to see it tomorrow night.
Yeah, exactly.
McAllister's right at the forefront of that thought process for me. Yeah. What's your thoughts there?
I totally agree. I would have Soboslai playing and leave Maka on the bench again. The whole Simicast, the whole Endo thing, can we give him 20 minutes at the end? I don't see anything wrong with that. I just think Soboslai has that much energy that if you didn't play him at the start of any game, you'd go, if the game wasn't going your way, you could go, oh, we should have just started Dom in this game because he would have been fine with it. So I would start him, but it's the other lad, Maka, that I'd definitely rest for this one. And then, we can look at bringing on someone in that 3rd position. But yeah, Endo and Sob, I mean, is that even a weaker midfield?
No, but it's who's the 3rd one, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah.
Like, there's a Harvey Elliott conversation. I'm sure you'd be very much in favour of that. There's a Trey Naoni conversation. There's a Tyler Morton conversation here. Tyler, how do we feel, Luke? How do we feel?
I probably don't play Sobbo at all, just because I think there's an element of Sobbo's a little bit more fragile than McAllister in terms of minutes. So I think I'd probably play Maka and then put Harvey next to Maka.
See, I would have done the opposite.
And then maybe bring Maka off for Gravenberch and leave Endo on to play the 90.
We're all over the place here.
Dependent on how the game's going. You know what I mean? It's all dependent on how the game's going, isn't it? But
see, I'm going Endo, Sobbo and Harvey.
Yeah.
And I hear the Tyler Morton shout. I do. But I don't think you would necessarily need 2 DMs for this game.
No, I think Tyler could be more of the 8 that Maka does. Obviously not as... Listen, I really like Tyler Morton. He's not as good as McAllister. I've said it. I think he could do that role, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think he is an out-and-out, has to play at the base of midfield. Yeah. I think he can do a bit more advanced stuff, a bit more of the dirty work. Harvey Elliott, less so. I think he does have to play in the 10 if he plays. Yeah. You can't put him in that 8 role, really, because he's converted to winger ultimately. Yeah, it's really tough. Really, really tough. Trey Naoni, I don't think he's a million miles away from this conversation either, for what it's worth. It'd be interesting to see if he travels. I imagine he will do.
Do you think he'll play against Plymouth?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I'd be surprised if he didn't, to be honest with you. So it's tough. I think the midfield is the toughest part of this entire conversation, personally. Let's forget this entire conversation happened. I'm going to ask you right now for the midfield 3 you'd name.
Endo, Soboslai, Harvey Elliott.
Okay, Luke?
Yeah, I'm Endo, Maka, Harvey Elliott.
Okay, I'm Endo. I'm Endo, Morton, Harvey Elliott. which I know is wild. I'm aware of
I
that
don't
before
think it's
anybody
that
clips it
wild,
up
though.
and calls me an idiot, which I'm fine with, ultimately. King Jason has gone for James William McConnell. I absolutely adore
Middle name.
the use of the middle name there, by the way. That is
Didn't even know.
fantastic. We might see some McConnell. I wonder whether Liverpool are being a bit protective over like James McConnell, because there might be a loan move on the horizon for him. So maybe
And Tyler as well, you know.
Tyler too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we spoke after the Accrington Stanley game, didn't he? And
Yeah, he
said
said
there's a
it's
decision
time.
to be made.
Yeah, exactly.
So it might lend us to what happens next for him, which might mean it's more likely to be Naoni potentially as
Do you
well.
remember that game Tyler Morton played against Porto?
Yeah.
When I think it was the game where Thiago scored that wonder goal.
Yeah, it was.
I thought he was brilliant in that
was.
game.
He's
So
done
there's
really
definitely
well.
a player there. We can't, just because we've got Soboslai, Maka, Endo, all these guys, we can't forget actually what the potential is of Tyler Morton. Sadly, it probably won't be fulfilled at Liverpool, but we've given him the base. He's got great Champions League, European experience.
Yeah.
He's gone down to the Championship. He was fantastic for Hull last year, was
Blackburn.
it? Blackburn. So there's definitely a big player there. It's just who gets him, and I wish him all the best because
100%.
he's had a great foundation to his career under Klopp and Slot so far.
Yeah, and he started the game Spurs away when we had loads of COVID situations going on. He was really good in that game too. So yeah, he's been really good, really impressive when called upon this season as well in the Carabao Cup and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, whatever happens with him, wish him all the best. Be interesting to see if he's involved tomorrow. Okay, I think we've got something like a midfield there. Let's do the front three. Let's start with the Salah one, Alex. He wants to play,
He
doesn't
just
he?
starts every
Yeah,
game.
he's going to play, isn't he?
Yeah. There's some times where, and this is a good thing, but I do wish sometimes he understands that maybe it is just on him to say, rest me if you want. Like, I'm happy to play. Of course I'll play. I will play every minute, but rest me if you want. I'm cool with that, because I feel like sometimes under Klopp especially, if he was rested, there might be a bit of friction there. You've seen the West Ham game last season, but I think he starts, even though actually could we trial something out? I mean, there's even an argument to say if he doesn't start Harvey there, and then you've got a space for Tyler in midfield. But I just think in the Champions League, he's just scored his 50th goal for the Reds in that competition. He's got that winning mentality. He never wants to not play, and I love that about him. But it's almost like a poison chalice, because sometimes I know he hasn't ever been injured really for Liverpool, but there's always that little worry in these kind of dead rubber games. So yeah, just because it's Mo, I'd start him. But listen, there is an option to start maybe someone else there, but I think realistically, forgetting what we actually think, I think Slot will just say, yeah, Mo's in.
There's an element you said there, Alex. He needs to sort of have it on himself to be rested. I think we'd all love that, but we all know he's walking into that office going, yeah, I want to play on Wednesday. Can you play me? Yeah, full 90, please.
Yeah, just
That's
make
the
sure
thing.
that
Yeah,
I've got my boots ready. So
yeah, just make sure there's a spot for me in the team. And the game means nothing, but I need to play. But
I'm still playing, aren't I? I know it's dead rubber, but I'll probably get a hat trick.
That's what it is. So
but let's try and do two alternatives in an alternate universe. Who else would play there if Mo didn't have the Mo
Chiesa?
Salah
Yeah,
winning
Fede.
attitude? Chiesa, Harvey could
You
play
mentioned
there.
Harvey, and that's it. Also,
That's it,
I think
pretty much.
that's it. There's youngsters, but the youngsters post that. You know what I mean? And obviously, we've seen Mio and Gamo in the Accrington game over on the other side. Of
love
course,
that.
But
Love
yeah,
that game.
I did too. But yeah, listen. Chiesa is the answer. Let's not beat around the bush here.
Yeah, he is. Any side really.
Is it time? Chiesa.
what's to start him tomorrow?
Yeah.
Which side?
I don't think he's got a 90 in him still. I think when the
What
manager
more does he have to do to
I
get
know,
a
but I just
90
don't
in
think
him, though, man?
Play 60 would
Play
be a
60.
start.
Start the game. The manager's let him know when he's ready. I think he's been very open and honest about his minutes in the press conferences. I think Case was going to start tomorrow. He might sort of be like, "Oh, Case is looking all right." He gives a few clues. So just have to see what happens. I reckon he'd be more likely to have his first 90 or at least 60 against Plymouth.
It's just mad, isn't it? A Euro winner, right? Played so well for Italy in the Euros, and now he's getting minutes against Accrington and Plymouth.
Well, he's just had a rocky start though, Annie. That's all it is.
But I
It's
do
not-
think he's quite happy though. Like from what I've seen, there was these rumours that he's looking to go back to Italy. They've been now revealed as a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen of him around the place, it looks like he's got a real connection with all of the players. Konate did a little Instagram story of him yesterday. So it seems like no matter what position his teammates are, they all love him. So I just don't know what more he needs to do to get a start in an important game. But that's because of the quality and the standard is so high.
And he'll be aware of that. And he'll be aware of the fact that he's not had the greatest start to life for Liverpool as well. Obviously had that mid-season, pre-season situation going on, which he's out the back of now. He's had some illnesses along the way. It hasn't taken off in the way he would have hoped or expected, of course. I think, was it Roberto Mancini's been speaking about in the past couple of days, saying like he hopes he can kick on from here, and he's got his foundations now of a Liverpool career underway with a goal at Accrington, of course, and all that. So I do think this presents a viable opportunity for him to start the game. Maybe not do 90, but this feels like if he is going to play an hour, and I'm aware of Plymouth, I'm aware of Spurs to a certain extent as well coming down the horizon, I think this is an hour game for Chiesa personally, and it gives you maybe half an hour Salah to keep him ticking over at the end as well, which makes a lot of sense. The sort of thing that Salah did in the group stages of the Europa League, because in terms of importance and magnitude, this is tantamount to that, you know what I mean? So
it's interesting you say about Chiesa starting for 60 minutes. I said the same yesterday, but like that thing that happens with Liverpool fans as the game approaches, you almost get this blanket of realism thrown over you, and realistically, from what we've seen, the evidence that's presented itself to us so far under Slot is that Mo Salah will play. But if we were the gaffers, I'd go Chiesa.
Salah starting the game.
Sat on the sofa.
Salah starting the game. Likewise, Van Dijk, and a little bit Gravenberch now in this conversation. Starting the game that I massively anticipate he wouldn't shock me in the slightest. Like nothing will shock. If he went full rotation, fine. If he went mid rotation, fine. If he kept the complete same team and went as strong as possible, fine. Yeah, none of this is a problem. None of it would surprise me. I'm going in very open minded to this team selection come 5:45 tomorrow, whatever it'll be. Okay, we're very undecided on the right wing. Let's do the left wing now, shall we, Alex?
See, there's an argument to play Chiesa on the left wing. There's an argument.
I mean, put him in goal as well while you're at it.
Yeah, why not? Where did his dad? What position was his dad?
Forward, wasn't he?
Right, okay. Probably it's just Gakpo, isn't it? Because of the PSV link.
I think so.
I think
he's going to do the press as well, and Gakpo later on. He's going to be the player,
it used to be the non-starting striker that used to accompany the manager, and that would always give you a clue. I remember, just on a bit of a tangent, I did work experience at the Independent in 2013. And I got sent to Cobham for a Chelsea press conference, and it was Demba Ba who took the conference with Mourinho. Obviously, Torres and I think Drogba might have left at that point, or they had Costa or someone. And I remember saying to Mourinho, I asked him a question. They actually lost to Basel, and it was Mo Salah who I think scored the next day. So if it is Gakpo in the press conference, I don't know how it works these days. That was 10 years ago.
So usually
it probably will play.
Usually it's an unwritten rule, isn't it? That if you're with the manager in the press conference, then you start. But Canate was in the Leo press conference, and he didn't play. So
that made me. I agree with the first point. It's always that. But I think it was a French team. So because of a French journalist, French media in there, they can just speak to Canate and so maybe that was just a tap in for them, and it didn't actually mean that he was definitely going to start. But with Gakpo, I think he'll do both. Personally,
he did reveal a few bits though, Canate. That I
don't think Liverpool will be putting him up in a hurry again.
Next time, just have a massage. I think on the left wing, it's going to be Cody. It's going to be Cody.
I think so. And now
but it'd be interesting to see who's in that presser with Varney, though. It probably will be him as well.
Yeah, I would imagine so. He's the obvious one. He's the one, if the journalists get opportunities to request a player like from Eindhoven or from Liverpool, it will be Cody Gakpo, because he is the main focus ahead of this game, really. Okay, I think Cody Gakpo. Centre forward?
Darwin Núñez for me.
Yeah.
I think he's almost, you know how Chelsea have almost got their Conference League team. I think for us, maybe not the cups domestically, but I do think Núñez is our Champions League striker, if that makes sense. If Jota was fit, there'd be a bigger discussion around that. But I just think, listen, man, I was at the Brentford game. You can see what a bit of confidence does to the boy. He hasn't scored since that game. He had a good defensive performance against who was it against in the Champions League against Lille. I thought he actually played really well and did everything apart from score. But I'd play him in this one. I'm not tired of the Diaz through the middle experiment yet. I think it needs a little bit of a pause. But for this game especially, I think to stretch and to if you're Trent, right, and you've got the ball in that right back position, who would you want running in behind, showing for the ball? It would probably be Núñez over Diaz, who would come short and look to turn in behind. But for me, Darwin, I'd go with him, especially for this game. I mean, the next game could be against Real Madrid, and then maybe if Shota's around, you go back to that. But for this game, I'd go Darwin, and then Jayden Danns, can he get some minutes off the bench as well?
Well, he's the other one in this conversation. I mean, Diaz obviously, but I don't see it for this game personally. I'm a little bit with you. I'm not sure how suited he is that night. I know Bayer Leverkusen will, completely detract from what I'm saying
fell
there.
into place that night.
It did, didn't it? Yeah, and it worked a treat, and I think we felt we stumbled on something magical, but maybe isn't quite suited to it. But for this one, I think it's Nunes, but I wouldn't be against seeing a bit of Jayden Danns either.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. When he come on against Ipswich, he was a bit more behind the full, wasn't he? A bit of a 10.
Centre mid, basically.
It was, yeah, so there you go. But I'd like to see him come on. Yeah, I'd like to see him come on up front and early. I think, he'll be on off the bench. I think Nunes is destined to start. But he's exciting, isn't he? And his stats don't lie with Jayden Danns, but we're just not seeing enough of him. I mean, one of the main talking points we had about it the other week on one of the clips was he's brilliant. I'd love to see him play, but where's he going to get the minutes? This is somewhere where he could get the minutes. It's just whether the manager's going to give him them.
How Nunes would it be, right, if Nunes plays 75 minutes tomorrow, misses a couple, has a decent defensive performance, gets a standing ovation, Danns comes on and scores with his first touch in the 6-yard box? That would be so Nunes.
It would be very Nunes and very Jayden Danns.
Yeah,
because the kid just scores goals.
What was it, 3 goals in less than 90 minutes?
Yeah,
he might have just a bit more than 90 now.
He probably does. Yeah. 2 FA Cup appearances, 3 goals. Like, the kid just scores goals, mate. He's right place, right time. He's got that striker's instinct. But what's interesting about him, this is a slight tangent, so bear with me, is that Slot clearly likes him as a footballer. Yeah. He's a centre forward, but he's brought him on left wing, centre mid the other day, so he just likes having him around. It feels like, you know what I mean? He just wants to get him on the pitch to get him experience and
that's
exposure.
Not a bad thing at
Far
all.
from it. No, it bodes well for his future. Let's put it like that. Fulls, we got a PSV Eindhoven fan in the chat. He's been there for a while, but I've finally managed to bring up one of your comments. I feel as a PSV supporter, Liverpool needs to play Gakpo. We want to welcome him back home, which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice. There's nice stories in football sometimes, and I think a homecoming is always, if it's amicable on both sides, it's always a nice moment.
Yeah.
We appreciate that he was their guy. Like, he was the captain, he was super young, he was scoring so many goals until, that phone call from Virgil came and said, listen, forget United, come and join us. Yeah. What a phone call that turned out to be. And I what is it, 14 goals and 6 assists now this season. He's, in my opinion, he's going to get 20 and 10 this season.
Some season better.
Which is Sadio Mane levels, let's be honest. And he's playing in the same position. And he's still young.
For a player who
he just gets on with it.
Yeah, for a player who never found a home, not for any fault of his own, really. I think Klopp would be, and I think Pep Linders said something similar, might have been to us, might not have been on camera, so forgive me, about how he wasn't quite used in the right way. You know what I mean? And everyone knows that. Gakpo's spoken about himself. Obviously, the midfield experiment never really came to pass, never really worked. Played it in that. I must admit, for a while there, I thought we found Bobby Firmino 2.0 with Cody Gakpo because he just looked the most natural fit ever, and it never really worked out. I think now he's just playing, you are a left winger, go and be a left winger. Yeah. We're seeing the fruits of that particular decision, aren't we?
I think one of the bad things that happened with Cody is he had that mini run where we're thinking, oh wow, we found the next Bobby. And then didn't we lose to Wolves, Brighton and Brentford 3-0 or 3-1 and I think he was either in midfield or through the middle.
He was the fall guy that a little bit.
He was the fall guy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm glad he's found his position. When you see him on the pitch and you see them, the big strides that he's got on him, he can obviously cut inside and wrap it. I mean, I think in that position, I'd rather have him than Diaz.
Well, it's working really well.
That's the headache, the conundrum that presents itself. Who do you play on that left-hand side? Because Luis Diaz had that position locked down before him. But when he cuts in, there's not many... And he's so big as well. For how big he is, he's probably my height, but he's a lot more agile than me.
No, not much. Do yourself down. He's only a little bit. I seen you walking here, but it was all right. No, but you're right. And we've seen it on the weekend, literally the most recent game, the most recent example of him playing that role. When he gets central and in the width of the goalpost, he scores centre-forward type goals as well, doesn't he? And that interchangeability with him and Diaz does actually work when it's them two together in the same team. But the goals he scored, like I say, the instinct and the reactions to get to the first one, and then the header, that's like a proper centre-forward header.
Was brilliant header. Yeah. It's like a throwback kind of number 9 header. But those numbers, as I mentioned, I think last season he got what he's got now, 14 and 6. So I mean, listen, he's no Sadio Mane. They're different players, as we know, but Sadio would regularly put up those numbers and we'd almost not really bat an eyelid. Yep. But now we're actually getting back to those numbers, and there's even a shout to say Luis Diaz could get those numbers as well this season. And do you remember when we were here last summer and I said, let's keep Luis Diaz? Everyone wanted us to buy Anthony Gordon. Where are you now? Yeah. Well, which camera? Where are you now?
I think they went into,
I was getting abuse from that. Do you remember?
well, just hold your horses momentarily. He's
gone early.
I think they crept into the woodwork, but I think they've just started to poke their heads back out. Just
Right.
a little bit.
bit,
to be
yeah.
honest. Anyway, you are right, ultimately. And they were made to look silly at the start of the season, but I think ever so slightly more and more
little
people,
bit,
maybe a
little
tiny
bit.
bit. I'm with Harley, by the way, on my front three: Gakpo, Nunes, Chiesa. That'd be my pick. With a little bit of Salah dropped in some point and a little bit of Jaden Dan's. And
No minutes for Diaz?
don't think so.
No.
No.
Well, I think Diaz could really excel in the 9 experiments on Saturday. I think that'll be the be all and all of it. I think that'll be the final game. It's either going to be make or break.
Okay,
So
I like that shout.
let's
How
see
long
what
is
goes.
Jota still out for?
He said weeks, not
Yeah,
months.
weeks.
to me.
But bro, he scored a goal. He's on for 10 minutes.
He'll do that. He'll do
man.
that. He'll break
I
your heart.
love him, man, but I'm getting to
Yeah.
the point where I'm just like, what are we doing here?
I know, it's tough. Right, I think we've come up with something like a 14 that'll start tomorrow. So yeah, best of luck with all that. Let's do some other Champions League stuff, shall we? Because there's a lot of it. Am I going to do this? Am I going to do it? Yeah, let's do it. The games tomorrow night are as follows.
Ooh.
You can see him on screen, but I'm going to try and say him. Aston Villa against Celtic, massive, by the way. Barcelona, Atalanta, Bayer Leverkusen, Sparta Prague, Bayern Munich, Slovan Bratislava, Borussia Dortmund against Shakhtar Donetsk, Brest against Real Madrid, Dynamo Zagreb against AC Milan, Girona against Arsenal, Inter Milan against Monaco, Juventus against Benfica, I'm really regretting this, Lille against Feyenoord, Man City against Club Brugge, PSV Liverpool, as we know, Red Bull Salzburg, Stefan Bajcetic against Atletico Madrid, Sporting against Bologna, Sturm Graz against Leipzig, Stuttgart against PSG, Young Boys against Red Star Belgrade. Saved the best till last there, didn't they? Let cut the bullshit in terms of what all that means and what happens, kind of whatever, Alex, but that's boss. That's a good night.
It's going to be good, isn't it?
What we're going to find tomorrow night is the reason why I think this format is more entertaining. It's almost like the last day of the season in the Premier League. All the games kick off 3 o'clock on a Sunday. You know exactly where the permutations lie. I mean, I read that we could potentially face up to like 15 teams. Like there's 15 teams in the mix, or even more maybe.
But it's the outcomes in it, so some of the outcomes are really strange.
I mean, no one's gonna, as the game's going on, I don't think anyone's gonna be knowledgeable enough to tell us what. It's just like as soon as that final whistle goes, get the table up. And
Well, that's Steve Hall's job for us to have night. So best of luck.
There is an element on the UCL app at the minute. You can predict results and see the bracket.
Yeah, we
There's
did
an element.
that.
Yeah, there's an element. If all favourites win tomorrow, I'm pretty sure Liverpool can only play Lille, Monaco, Paris or Sporting, and then the alternative to that is Feyenoord, because Feyenoord Lille's a bit hard to pick a favourite in.
Me and Avenue on production did it last week. We predicted all the games and the scores, and we ended up with 4 French teams
Yeah.
as our possible next opponents. Because from 15th to 18th, is that right? Who will end up facing?
Who are those French teams?
Well, it'd be Lille, Brest, Monaco,
Brest got Real
PSG.
Madrid.
They were the 4 that we
Brest
ended up with.
started off so well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Falling off a
No
little bit.
jokes, anyone. Let's just keep it. Let's keep it highbrow.
Drooped off a little
Let's
bit.
let's keep it highbrow. Nobody even looked like they were going to make a joke. I just wanted to get that out there. Really. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So let's do the.
CBS make the jokes for us. when
Yeah,
it comes
true.
to
Actually, yeah,
Brest,
Mickey Richards is all over them. Bad choice of words, but let's move on.
over
Let's
them.
do the Champions League table now, which is massive. I'm not going to beat it all. You can see it. Liverpool, as we know, are top 2 secured. Barcelona in second. Obviously, Arsenal, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan, Atalanta, Bayer Leverkusen make up the rest of that automatic qualification.
that.
You can see a whole group of teams there on 13 points, including Lille, including Brest. So it's going to be
Just go down a bit more. Just
keeping going.
yeah.
Keeping going.
There they are.
There- Yeah, I mean, that's the group of teams. So right now, 15th is Bayern Munich, 16th is Real Madrid, 17th is Juventus, 18th is Celtic. That tells you how mad tomorrow night's going to be, because all them teams that I've just mentioned are currently the 4 week of face. That will never end up like that. Like, those teams will be completely different by the end of tomorrow night. And then just a little bit further down, Man City, PSG, and a little bit of Real Madrid. I mean, less so Real Madrid. They've guaranteed the playoffs, haven't they, which is annoying. But Man City and PSG, particularly Man City, Luke, are scrambling for their lives a little bit.
Good.
It's going to be a 4-0 though, isn't it? You just see it nailed on. 4-0 City, Bruges get beat. But to be fair, odds on City, when you was doing the bracket, having a little look at it, if they win, sort of, all favourites win, let's hope, they're looking at Juventus or Real Madrid away before they play us on the weekend. So
Simon
you wouldn't mind
Mignolet,
that.
can he do us a favour? at Bruges?
I hope so.
Oh, mate, if they go out this early, it would be absolutely beautiful. The only thing that it could mean, though, is that they can put all their eggs in the Premier League basket. I still think they're too far away from us, but there's always that trauma. Oh, shit.
You're not worried about that, are you? You're not in that brigade.
No, I'm not, because I've been telling people to stop shit in the bed and just believe, but they could go stronger. I mean, they're out of the Carabao Cup. They're in the FA Cup. So who knows? But I'd love it if they went out tomorrow night. I would absolutely love it.
Give me them going out all day. Forget Premier League. Like, I think they'll get top four regardless. So that doesn't really faze me either way, to be honest with you. You know, notwithstanding a huge point deduction.
Is there a part of you that would like Celtic? I know it's quite unlikely because they're probably going to win, but I'd like Celtic.
Let's do that, actually, while we're on the topic. What's your ideal next round opponent? I know it's a lot of things need to happen.
Celtic would be special, man.
Yeah. I think Dortmund are on the cards for the 16, but they'd have to get beat. But that's because you want to go, don't you? If you're going to go,
you'd love to.
Anyone who has
you'd love to go Dortmund or Celtic.
Get them in.
Fine, absolutely. Yeah. Okay,
I've got the easiest draw possible. You're probably looking at Brest, aren't you, or someone like that?
Always, I'm up for Celtic.
Yeah.
For what it's worth. Yeah,
I just think it would just be magical. What was it? UEFA Cup 2004. We lost, didn't we? John Hartson and Alan Thompson.
Yeah, we've had some like testimonials and friendly with them and all that. Yeah, so I'm up for that.
Well, they brought a full away, didn't they, down for the charity game the other year. So
wasn't it weird for that game that they were booing Gerrard because obviously he was the manager of Rangers, but traditionally, I don't like Celtic booing. Like we're on the same side, aren't we?
But the Ranger thing will usurp.
Take that away. Like there's a lot of love, and like I've seen people in Anfield wearing Celtic shirts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's
I find that mad.
Big link there, like.
But I don't mind it.
No, absolutely.
I'd rather that than literally any other team in the world. If you are going to wear a different shirt to Anfield, I wouldn't mind it being. I wouldn't do it, but if I see a Celtic shirt, I'm like, well, at least it's not any other team in the world. It's Celtic. So.
No, absolutely. I make me peace for that 100%. Okay, let's wrap up with some score predictions then, shall we? Including you guys in the chat, if you don't mind. So much just depends on team selection, I'm aware, but whatever. Score predictions, Alex?
2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, I like that.
I think I'm going to go 3-1. I think 2-1 later on, just getting a little extra one at the end.
Okay. I'm going to stick with 2-1 as well.
Who's scoring for them?
Luke de Jong. Luke de Jong. 45 yards. Absolutely.
Scorpion kick.
Missile. Ibrahimovic's goal for Sweden. Do you remember that mad? But yeah, that's the goal he scored.
Jaros scrambling back.
And what he's going to do, he's going to run to the camera, grab his ear, and just point his ear and say AJT on Twitter.
Pull up his shirt.
Hold that, you sausage.
Daniel Edwards says 4-1. And the inevitable King Mo says 1-1. Fuzz Flax has got Ricardo Pepe down as the goal scorer. Ryan Higgins says 2-0 as well.
How many goals has that Pepe got this season?
I think he's the 9, Luke de Jong's the 11. That's the league, though. I'm not sure about the Champions League.
I think you're right on that
not bad,
initial assessment. No, he's decent, yeah.
How old is he?
20?
Sure.
Never heard of him.
21, yeah. Younger than Luke de Jong.
Yeah, I mean, that's not hard. I'm younger than him.
So, yeah, I'll say 2-1. I'll say Cody Gakpo gets a goal against his old team, and I'll say Chiesa.
Does he celebrate Cody if he scores?
No, very respectful.
Doesn't give it that.
No, I don't think he does a salute. Is that a celebration? I guess it is, but it's very low key.
He's a low key kind of guy, though.
He,
apart from the United game when he scored the first of the 7 and he did the knee slide, I don't remember him like being overly jubilant when he scores. But I don't mind that because it's business. Like
when he did the little dink in the 7. He was in the Cop, wasn't he?
That game alone, then, it's United, you're right, isn't it? Yeah. But I can't remember him like giving it all that, which I'm cool with. But Cody scores. Okay, we'll go Cody. And do you know what I'd love? A header from a corner. We haven't had one of them for a long time. Normally it's Konate in the Champions League that does that, but Endo header.
You heard it here first.
Even though he's probably not up for the corners, he's probably on the edge of the box, or it could trickle out and he does a little Stevie G Olympiakos vibes.
He's got that in him.
He's got that.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
I've seen it, mate. I love the ball.
Scored. Not stuck. He came stuck. Who did he score against?
He scored against Fulham.
Banger. He scored as well.
Oh, did he?
Europa League, he scored a header. There you go. Endo header. See, he has done it before. I wasn't making it up.
So I've got to bring this chat up as well. Kieran Morris in the squad. Possibly. He's definitely in the round that squad. He's on the B list of things, so he could be involved.
Do you reckon Rio's on the bench?
No.
Yeah. Are they playing Youth League? They playing?
They've got a game against Stuttgart, ironically enough, coming up in the next round of that.
He'll be playing there then.
Yeah, sad.
Big him up.
Wonderful. That's that. Done. Dusted. Thank you so much. Alex, Luke, thank you so much.
No
Massively
worries,
appreciated. Thanks for getting involved in the chat. Do stick around for everything, basically. Watch along going on, pre-match, post-match. You know the score by now. Make sure you check out Luke's TikTok as well.
Yeah. Check me out on TikTok, Luke Laver. So
love that, man.
AGT, Cop TV.
Yeah, the Cop TV. We've got. We're going to be watching this one at Box Park tomorrow. Doing a watch along on Saturday as well. And just like yourselves, man, it's just constantly churning out. I mean, you actually forget sometimes what is coming up. You've got to remind yourself because it just seems like every day there's something else to talk about.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man. Cop TV, DR Sports as well. Yeah,
all good. Top man. Thanks again for watching and indeed listening. Take care. I will see you very soon. Bye for now.